I wanted to start this video by saying this was a little bit different than most of our videos. We typically don't cover things that we're hearing until they have been announced, because quite often it's never concrete enough to be discussing. But I felt that I wanted to talk about this one because it is such a major announcement. And as with so many announcements, we have fear that there's going to be issues within the announcement itself, or oversights that hadn't been thought about by the minister or by the ministry in enough detail before the announcement is made. So we're going to cover things today which we have been hearing are supposed to be announced tomorrow. There's no guarantee what we're saying today will be announced. That could change. What we're hearing from our contacts could be incorrect. But we wanted to sort of mention what we have heard, but also very importantly, the issues that this might raise so that people don't get overly excited and try to think of it in a more structured approach. Now, today is Wednesday, the 29th of September, 2021. My name is Aaron Hunt. I'm a partner at the law firm Stace Hammond, and I head up the immigration work there. As always, as I said, this is not definite what's going on. It's definitely also not legal advice. It's just our discussion of what's going on within immigration and what we have been hearing from our contacts of what could be announced in the announcements tomorrow. If you want actual legal advice for your applications, then please get in contact with us at the email address below or through our website. Now, the Honourable Chris Farfoy is to make an announcement tomorrow about immigration. Now, I'll be very clear straight away that this is, from what we've heard, about people who are onshore. For those of you who are offshore, I'm sorry, but this isn't going to cover you from what we've heard, and neither of this is this video. Now, there's two parts to what we've heard is going to be announced. The first part we're going to cover is skilled migrant. It is a smaller part, but I want to get this out of the way. What we're hearing is that the points are due to be increased, and that has been indicated by the minister himself when he has made comments that those who are in the pool who don't meet any new criteria or a new point system will be pushed out of the pool and will not go to the invitation to apply, the next stage of the process. So we're hearing point increase. We're hearing lots of different numbers as to what the point increase be. I'm not going to sort of guess as to that, because it could be a number of things. But we have seen the previous leak that was shown in the previous video on the SMC calculator on the website, where it temporarily showed a couple of new ways of getting points. So there is changes being made, and from what we've heard, those are going to be announced tomorrow. Now, the bigger news, and something that we have heard, we did hear some time ago, and we've been waiting for sort of more confirmation from our better contacts that it was true, it was taking place, is that the minister, from what we've heard, will tomorrow be offering the chance to residents to every work visa holder in New Zealand who was working through the pandemic. This will exclude, from what our contacts have said, working holiday visa holders and perhaps some of the other smaller work visa types, but it will include essential skills work visas and work to residents, long-term school shortage work visas, that sort of thing. The expectation from the industry is that this will be 100,000 people will be covered by this. Now, what we've heard is that there will be some criteria for those who are working under the median wage. You will still be included and have a chance at applying for this, but you may have to have been in the country for a minimum time period. We're not sure as to what the time period is going to be if that's the case, or whether that time period is whether you were on a particular visa type or whether it was any kind of visa. We have to wait and see. So trying to give 100,000 people a chance to apply for residence. Now, if this is true, what it does mean is that a lot of people who are sitting in the skilled migrant queue, and there's tens of thousands of people in that queue, a lot of them will be kicked out if that point threshold is increased, and the operational manual does allow for that. However, they will then be able to move across to this new residence visa type, but in doing so, they'll be joined by a lot of other people. There's 100,000 of you, if correct, will be in this queue. Now, we're going to quickly show as to what's going to be called. There was a leak today which was picked up by one of the people on the Migrants NZ Facebook group. It's a good group there. Let's just go to share that screen. Okay, so it's the parliamentary scheme. Li Ming posted to Migrants NZ about 2 hours ago. And what they posted was one off 2021 residence visa is coming, but it's already been deleted from the Immigration New Zealand website. Now, this is the photo here that they posted, and you'll see, sorry, that's the live site. Here, one-off 2021 resident visa. Now, what we've heard from contacts was this is going to be a one-off visa, so this does tie in with what we were hearing. The actual page this comes from is the processing times for skilled migrant residents from work visas, where it says how long things are taking to process, and it would have appeared somewhere about here above that section there. So it does tie to be the right page. We cannot guarantee that this is a genuine screenshot. Of course, you can alter these things really easily, but we have no reason to believe it isn't. So if true, then that would tie in with what we've been hearing. Now, this does bring up a dilemma. Now, there's already a massive wait for residence visas to be processed, and this will just add to it. As we've covered before, this delay is not down to demand on applications. It is down to government policy and the reduction of the NZRP numbers that were made by the previous government. The current government has had two occasions since then, January 2020 and then in July 2021, when they were due to provide new NZRP numbers. Now, NZRP numbers is the amount of residence visas that Immigration New Zealand can grant in any 18-month period. Now, in January last year, they failed to provide a new NZRP number and later blamed it on COVID, despite COVID not hitting New Zealand until sort of a month or two later. They have since failed to provide it in July 2021 as well. So Immigration New Zealand is still working with the numbers that were provided 3 years ago under the previous government, over 3 years ago, under the previous government. So if you're going to have 100,000 people being added to the queue, that queue needs to be moving much faster. Now, if it doesn't start moving faster, then what you're seeing now is a sort of a 2-year wait for allocation between applying for the residence visa and being allocated to an officer. Will push out to a 4 or a 5-year wait for allocation. So we do expect that either this NZRP number is going to be increased, there has to be an increase there, or the media was going to start asking the question as to why it isn't being increased or why the government has failed to provide this new number the last 2 times it was supposed to be providing it. Now, the minister was actually asked about this this leak on the website during Parliament today, about half an hour ago. I'm just going to cut that video into this now so you can see the question from Nicola Willis.
Supplementary. Will the new, quote, 2021 one-off residency visa for all migrant workers, quote, uploaded briefly today on Immigration New Zealand's website, prioritise residency for critical healthcare workers?
Mr. Speaker, that member will have to wait for that decision. I believe someone may have got a little trigger happy at Immigration New Zealand, but when the government is ready to announce that, we will. And as I said yesterday, it will be comprehensive and give certainty to both employers and migrants.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table a document that is not publicly available anymore, and that is a page from the Immigration New Zealand website which refers to a 2021 one-off residency.
All right. I think the member described it fairly well earlier on. Is there any objection to that document being tabled? There is objection.
Now, from that, you see that there is definitely not a denial from the minister about this. There seems to be almost a bit of humour that this was sort of getting out. And he's sort of preparing for his speech tomorrow to provide the news on this. We'll wait tomorrow to see what actually comes through. But as I said, when you hear what comes through, listen to the detail, think about the numbers and think about the process. If it is going to add these numbers to the queue, is it going to be a widening of the queue to let people come through it in the time so it can get processed faster? Are they going to be looking at making priorities for certain people? Are they going to be looking at perhaps priorities for medical staff, as Nicola Willis asked? Are there going to be priorities there for applicants who have adult children? How about those who are already waiting in the queue with adult children? These are questions which hopefully the minister will answer tomorrow when this is announced, and we will definitely be doing a video after the announcement to cover what is announced and perhaps where there might be shortcomings or things that are missing or details that we have to sort of ask more questions about. Until then, and we'll come back to you then, kia kaha and stay safe.